Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Katie and I study English and philosophy at Cardiff University, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about what studying philosophy has been like in second year. If you're also interested in what studying English is like, I will also link that video down below, and I will link my video from last year about studying philosophy down below as well. So today I'm just going to chat to you in general about how I found philosophy in second year, because I find that it's been really different to first year. So in first year, philosophy was all about laying the groundwork for the rest of the degree, I suppose. We covered a lot of topics, a lot of basic philosophical theory, so like utilitarianism, virtue ethics, more ethical things, so like capital punishment, abortion, things like that. And also we studied the kind of science behind arguments, if that makes sense. I personally really enjoyed philosophy last year. I am far more on the ethical side of things when it comes to philosophy, rather than the, I don't know what to call it, rather than the more theory side, if that makes sense. I like ethics, I like medical ethics, I like those kind of things, and this year we haven't really done any of that. So I personally take 3 philosophy modules because I'm joint honours, so I take 3 in English, 3 in philosophy. So this year I've just finished ancient philosophy, I've also just finished philosophy of communication, and last time I did French existentialism, all of which are quite heavy going, none of which are very ethical. So French existentialism was kind of like Albert Camus. Who else did we study? I don't even remember who we studied. Simone de Beauvoir and Jean-Paul Sartre. That was quite heavy going. I had to work hard to understand it because we were reading quite a lot of like heavy texts. And the same goes for ancient philosophy as well. That was all like Plato, Aristotle, pre-Socratic, Socratic, Stoicism, skepticism. And I really enjoyed the seminars for that, but the lectures were very much like a history lesson, which I wasn't entirely expecting, and I don't do history, and I haven't done history since year 9 because I didn't even take it for GCSE. So, and that was kind of similar in French existentialism. It's quite, there's no like working theory behind it, if that makes sense. There's no ethics to it, which is what I personally really connect with. So that was a lot harder to do, especially ancient philosophy. It took me quite a while. Like, I've just done the exam, but I had to write and read and rewrite and reread all of the stuff loads of times so that I could understand it better. It was definitely harder this year than last year, and also everything's been more essay based this year. I've only had 2 philosophy exams, whereas last year I had 3, and those 2 were spread out across the year, as last year all 3 were in my last week of uni last year, if that makes any sense. However, whilst I didn't necessarily enjoy French existentialism or ancient philosophy, I really enjoyed philosophy of communication. It wasn't entirely what I expected. I thought it was going to be kind of like modern communication, but it was actually communication as in how we speak and use language, and like we compared how apes communicate, how humans communicate, and non-natural gestures, and there's a lot of theory behind how people communicate in different ways and communicate, subtly as well as overtly, and I found that really interesting. Again, it's not necessarily ethics, but it's practical and it kind of works, and I'm personally interested in working in communications, like in marketing or social media marketing, so looking at the basics of how people and also animals communicate was really fascinating to me. So I definitely enjoyed that module. I think also another big difference was, although we had reading almost every week last year, it wasn't quite as heavy, whereas this year I had, like, in philosophy of communication I'd have 2 philosophical essays to read, and then in ancient philosophy I'd have like 3 a week, so that's like 5 different readings, and they're all relatively thick, and also they're all relatively complicated, so it takes a lot of brain power to read them and understand them. So that's another thing that was different from last year, because last year, whilst we had reading, it wasn't every single week, and it wasn't multiple readings in one week for each individual module. So I think next year again, so third year, will be different again, because first of all, I'm doing study abroad for a term, so I won't be in the UK taking my first term, And the modules I've picked out in I'm Going to America, so the modules I've picked out there, I've picked one module that's literally entitled Ethics, so that's going to be more ethical. So I think I'll really enjoy doing ethics again, because for some reason we just don't really do ethics modules here after first year, and I'm sure it differs from uni to uni, like I'm sure other unis do them, but at the moment we don't currently really have ethics modules. I'm also studying modern philosophy out in the States as well, which will be interesting because that's more like up-to-date philosophical things, so I think it'll be dealing with more modern issues, which again I'm more interested in than the historical background. I know that studying a philosophy degree you probably should have somewhat knowledge of the historical background, but I'm far more interested in modern issues and how philosophy and ethics can help with modern issues rather than things that have gone on in the past. And then once I'm back in Cardiff, I'm taking a module that's called something about desire and happiness, and I think that'll be really, really interesting. I think that will kind of, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm guessing that it's going to be some kind of utilitarianism, but it's also, yeah, I just think studying desire and happiness will be interesting to see what philosophers say about that. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the modules next year are like. This year was definitely really different from last year, so I'm guessing again that it will be really different, and I'm kind of hoping it will be, because this year I only really enjoyed one of my philosophy modules. Like, I enjoyed all of my English modules, but I only really enjoyed one philosophy module, which was a shame. I guess that's what happens sometimes, and we didn't have that many modules to pick from, so. But I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful somehow. When I did my one for English and this, I'd been asked loads of questions about what it's like to study English, so if you want me to do another one and you have loads of questions about what it's like to study philosophy, then please let me know in the comments down below, or you can contact me on either my Twitter or my Instagram. They're both at Katie_May07, and yeah, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have about studying philosophy. And please, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, it would mean the world to me, and I will see you in my next one.